Nature, a force of its own. Let's discuss. Sometimes people tend to wrong one another or someone, or do evil, or live a very detrimental and unpleasant life. And at the end of it all, they might apologize, go for repentance, confession, seek mercy from God. And then it turns out that they later get to have a taste of their own medicine. It's not because God wasn't merciful enough. It's not because God didn't have mercy on them, but because nature took its course. What am I trying to say? Nature is a force, is a God on its own. Permit me to call it a demigod. The reason is, regardless of what anybody or someone does, regardless of how God show he or she mercy, at the end of it all, nature take its full course. Why I think nature is a demigod is because, in as much as God Himself do judge and cleanse sins and have mercy on one's wrong deeds, nature doesn't. I think I will call nature a God on earth. And sometimes I wonder why nature is not part of the Trinity. The reason is, I think nature has a way of taking its full course, has a way of behaving as a God himself, as God itself. Now, let's take a look at this. For instance, you get to see someone, a particular person, who has wronged so many people, and at the end of it all, that person might go to God, ask for forgiveness, and is being forgiven. But then, always have a taste of what he or she has sown. Inasmuch as he or she has been forgiven, they always reap what they sow at the end of it all. That is nature at work. And I feel that this nature has been given power by God. Yeah, I do feel that nature has been given power by God to act. And that power is something that is already bestowed in it. It can't be taken away from it. Yes. Why? Because inasmuch as God forgives, nature takes its course. You might think that today you might be wronging people, doing anyhow you like, be feeling like a demigod on earth, but there is a higher force, which is nature. It must act. It must pay you back to your coin. It must make you have a taste of your medicine, regardless of how repentant you are, regardless of how a changed person you are, you must have a taste of your coin. The reason why we are being urged to do good. Inasmuch as we might think that, okay, we can do anyhow and get away with it, you can never get away with it. You can never get away with it. Even if your life was cut short, your generation will take over from there. Yes, that's why in the Bible you see some people suffer the sins of their father. But most times, especially if such person lived a long life, he or she must have a taste of his or her medicine. Now it's not God acting, it's a power given to nature by God. The reason why I still think that nature should be included as part of the Trinity, because it has a force of its own. And I know it was being bestowed to it by God. Nature is a semi-god living on earth. Yeah. So therefore, in some other cases, I think that some people just want to do things and get away with it, disregarding the force of nature alive. Some people call it karma, but I call it nature and its force. I call it nature and its force. So therefore, in as much as you think that, oh no, nobody, people are saying nobody knows tomorrow, I know tomorrow, I have the money, I have everything, I have the power, I have everything to make people to feel less than themselves, or I have this, I have that, and nobody can pay me back to my coin. No! I won't use that word, you don't know tomorrow. But believe you me, nature will come calling. Nature will pay you back to your coin, whether you like it or not. Nature is a presence that feels even more than humans. Regardless of how good you think you are, or how you've been pretending to be good, nature says, it listens, it feels. It knows better than anybody. It even knows better than you. Nature is that third party or second party in your heart. Yeah. It knows the thought you hold in your heart before you implement. That's why it pays you, or it pays one exactly according to what one deserves. In as much as you think that you can do something in the hidden and get away with it, no. Nature is always there to see, to listen, to act, to take judgment by itself. Reason why sometimes you see some people say, oh no, they're so nice, they're so this. People call them good people. People tend to see them as these people are the best humans on earth. But they don't know what is in the heart of that human. They don't know who that person really is. People might say, oh yeah, this person is a very nice person. Why is he or she going through this? Why is he or she doing this? Why is she or she doing that? Or going through that? But nature sees it all. I'm not saying that there are some people that are not just unfortunate. Yeah, I believe in that. There are people that they're just unfortunate. But regardless, I think that unfortunate comes from somewhere. It might be the sins of their mother, the sins of their father. That's why we have prayers. And when you pray against such. You ask and plead for mercy. And in the process of pleading for mercy, you still walk in accordance to what nature wants to use in fighting against you. You don't just plead for mercy and live a reckless life. You don't just plead for mercy and treat people bad. You don't just plead for mercy and be manipulative. No. Nature will always be there to listen to your heart. Nature will always be there to know you more than you know yourself. Nature will always be there to know you more than those people you manipulate. So therefore, be very careful, loved ones. Be very, very careful on how you trade in life. If not for anything, because some people don't even look at what will happen to them. They don't care of what will happen to them, how nature will pay them back to their own coin. But because of your innocent children, because of the innocent people that will partake in such detrimental punishments. Nature is a force that can never be deceived. It's a force that you can't manipulate. Please live a good life and always remember there is nature. It watches and it sees it all. Thank you and do have a great time ahead.